Hello and welcome to the End of Life channel. We are back with Basics with Barbara. We are so grateful for our sponsors, Allseps Persons Funeral Chapel, Hillcrest Memorial Gardens, and Ancora Health. And before we start, we always start with a little question from the death deck, Barbara, and I picked one out for you and Christine. And here's your question. You ready? It's a fill
Ready.
in the blank. Describe what death means to you.
Death means to me an extension of the energy that I am. That's a little um, vague, but it's vague because I really don't know what is on the other side of this life. I really don't know, but I hope that there's something. It's hard for me to wrap my head around just the game's over and that's all there is. But really, I don't know. I'll find out.
Great answer. And how about you, Christine?
Can I steal Barbara's answer?
Absolutely.
I think the longer that I've always had a curiosity about death and somehow in some strange way welcome it, but I also feel I go back to Einstein's theory of, that we are just these beautiful spiritual beings, and that we are energetic beings. That energy cannot be created or destroyed; it just changes form, and so that provides some comfort to me. That perhaps, and again. Piggybacking off of what Barbara said, we don't know, but I've read enough. I've read plenty of books about end of life experiences and near death experiences that I believe that there is something more and that we transition into another form. So I welcome death in some odd way. I look forward to that transition. I remember Elizabeth Kubler-Ross mentions this in her Graceful Passages. Phoebe said, I'm dating myself. And she too understood, had this experience of understanding that we do transition and change form and welcoming death. I will miss, my loved ones, but I do think that there could possibly be something more, and that provides comfort to me.
Can I add something to this?
Yeah.
As you were talking, Christine, I was seeing going through my mind all the bedside dying hours and even days before death of various patients talking to people that have died before them, mothers, fathers, um, and I I couldn't get past that there must be something more, because where did this come from? Where did these people come from? And it wasn't just one or two, a rarity. This was common. My own mother talked to her husband who had died 3 or 4 months before her, carried on long conversations with him. And I said, what, talk to the people, find out what's going on in their world, and then we can kind of learn what's going on. And, she said, yeah, he's here. We're talking, and he's over in this chair over here. Um, so my patients have made me wonder and really kind of believe that there's more um, than life just stopping.
I love that. And we could actually have a whole conversation, Basics with Barbara, just going over the death deck. Thank you so much. And I would agree with you, like you both. I welcome death. I'm ready for it. I do believe I'm going to a different place in a different form, and I look forward to being reunited with my loved ones. So it's not something that I fear. And as you so eloquently said, Barbara, I have seen enough people talking about seeing other people and almost that they have one foot in this world and one foot in the next world, and definitely appreciate the conversation. And that question came from the Death Deck, and you all are able to get a copy of the Death Deck from deathdeck.com. Just a really wonderful way to start conversation like we did. And I didn't even introduce who's here with us today. I was so excited to jump right in. We have Barbara Karnes, whom we are so grateful that she gives us a bit of her very busy time to share some of her wisdom. She is a pioneer in the hospice world. She says that she's been in it more than 40 some years. I don't know. She started when she was a babe. But anyway, we are very blessed to have her. And I'm Karen with Ancora Health, and I'm joined here with Christine Sosa, and I'll let her introduce herself and then ask the question for Barbara. Thanks,
Thank you.
Christine.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much, as always, Barbara, for joining us. I am so excited to talk to you about this topic because it comes up a lot. And for me personally, as a hospice nurse, I think our patients can be our greatest teachers. And I remember as a brand new hospice nurse, one of my first patients was a physician, and she welcomed me into her home. She had a very aggressive, she had end stage, a type of cancer, end stage, and she invited me into her home and she sat me down at her desk and she basically interviewed me and she let me I asked her if I could take her vitals and, you know, do my assessment that I would normally do with seeing patients. And she stood up and she said, "That will be the last time that you take my vital signs. You will," yes. And she said, "You will listen to me, pay attention to how my body is declining, and I'm going to encourage you to trust your intuition." And she was the greatest teacher to me, and I'm so grateful for that experience. And I did not once take her vital signs because that was one, her request, and two, she empowered me to really begin to trust my intuition as a human being and recognizing, what was really going on with her. So, what stimulated that was a recent blog that you wrote, Barbara, about stop chasing vitals and start comforting. So I always appreciate all the blogs that you write. They're so helpful, and I was just wondering if you can share some wisdom about that with us today.
Thank you for the kind words about my blogs. Um, our medical model, hospitals, the doctors, our medical model treats diseases that people have. And when you're dealing with a disease, you got to have the vitals. You got to see what the disease is doing to the body from a medical perspective. As end of life approaches, it isn't about the medical. It becomes about the person and the person's caregivers and family. It's about how can we make this passage in time have meaning and create this sacred experience that becomes the sacred memory. And it's not the blood pressure, the pulse, the rest, how fast they're breathing, really isn't going to tell you anything that you don't already know as a hospice professional or an end of life doula or a trained caregiver. Um, all you have to do is watch the person and see what their body is doing. And our goal is not to fix anything. So you get a blood pressure of 90 over 50. Yeah. So what? That doesn't tell you anything you didn't already know. And so it gives you the time as a caregiver, whether professional or not, to address the really important parts of end of life, which is education, which is comfort, um, which is support. You're not alone. I'm here. We're here to be with you. Um, And so it becomes, yes, you're going to change their bed because they're going to pee and poop their bed. But that's not the same as drawing lab work, blood work to see what their blood count or their white count is. Doesn't make any difference. Our focus is on keeping our patient comfortable as they go through this end of life experience and guiding and supporting all those there. That's where we need to put our energy and our time.
Beautiful. I remember being at the bedside of so many family members are caring for their loved ones, and they had the pulse ox machine on their finger, and I think that we are so inclined, like we're just I think that, we want something to do, or, some kind of measurement, right? Like, oh, their oxygen level is lowering, but really helping to empower family members. Just watch the body, their lips are beginning to change colors, and I think that that's so valuable. That presence can be the most valuable medicine. Yeah, we can't fix this. Thank you so much, Barbara. That was beautiful explanation.
Oh, thank you. We so rely on the medical because that's what we've been taught and that's what our medical model is. And so family members, if you don't take the blood pressure or don't check the pulse, can think you're not doing your job. And so we who are providing the care have to explain why we're not taking the blood pressure, why we're not having lab work done. Because if we don't explain it, then they think we're remiss. And so I think that's important in this. Um, is as much as our work is education, we have to educate why we're doing things and why we're not.
Absolutely. So well said, Barbara. Thank you so much. And as my sweatshirt says, people don't die like they do in the movies. That's why we're having these conversations so that you'll be educated. Barbara has a plethora of information. And what I love about it is it's first of all got large print and it's easy to digest. It's not medical for those of us who are not medical. So feel free to check out all the different books that she's got at bkbooks.com. And also that's a place where you can sign up to get your blogs, and they're emailed right there to you along with all the other talks and other information that Barbara is out there in the world giving, because she is just a plethora of information. Christine and I are so grateful to have this time to spend with you to educate our Learn members about dying doesn't happen like it does on the movies, and give them your little wisdom. So thank you, Barbara, for being here.
Oh, I always look forward to our time together, and I'll see you next month.
Look forward to it.
Okay.
Have a great one.
You too.